If you were to tell someone to, like, pour a chemical acid directly onto a raw, irritated wound, or maybe suggest they spray it right into their open eyes, they would probably look at you like you had completely lost your mind.
Oh, absolutely. They'd think you were crazy.
Right. Because in the skincare world, we have been aggressively conditioned to think of acids as these punishing, destructive tools. We think of, salicylic acid or heavy glycolic acid peel.
Yeah, the heavy-duty stuff.
Exactly. We operate on this old, relentless, I don't know, no pain, no gain mentality, where you actually expect a little bit of a burn and maybe a few days of redness just to prove that the product is actually working. We use them to strip layers away.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a totally understandable reaction. Our immediate baseline association with the word acid is basically cellular destruction.
Right. But what if I told you there is an acid that flips that entire narrative completely upside down? Welcome to today's deep dive. We are so thrilled to have you with us as we explore a really fascinating stack of source material today. Specifically, a comprehensive, in-depth guide on hypochlorous acid sprays for skincare, which was put together by the experts at Era Organics.
It's a great guide. Really thorough.
It is. And our mission today is to cut through all the viral internet hype, understand the actual underlying biology, and really give you the exact blueprint for using what is arguably the most natural, gentle, and multifunctional tool you can have in your daily routine.
It really is a remarkable molecule. And I think, once you understand the physical mechanism of how it behaves on a cellular level, navigating the endless product options in the skincare aisle becomes incredibly simple.
Okay, let's unpack this because calling something an acid but then marketing it as incredibly soothing for sensitive skin sounds like a giant biological paradox.
It does sound like a contradiction, yeah.
I mean, hypochlorous acid, it literally sounds like something you need safety goggles and a fume hood to handle in a lab. So why is this specific acid universally described in our sources as being so gentle that it's recommended for highly reactive skin?
Well, to understand that paradox, we have to completely leave the cosmetic chemistry laboratory behind and look inward. Hypochlorous acid, or HOCl, as it's chemically known, it isn't some synthetic compound that a skincare brand cooked up in a vat to sell to you.
Okay.
It is a naturally occurring biological molecule manufactured right inside your own body.
Wait, really?
Yeah, specifically by your white blood cells.
Wait, our immune system is literally brewing acid inside our veins.
Basically, yes. It is a fundamental part of your immune system's first responder network. So think about what happens when harmful bacteria or a virus or a fungus enters a wound and threatens the body.
Right, your white blood cells rush to the scene.
Exactly. But they don't just physically block the intruders. They literally manufacture hypochlorous acid right there on site to chemically neutralize the threat. It is your body's built-in antimicrobial weapon.
Okay, so when we buy a bottle of this at the store, we are essentially just purchasing a synthesized version of our own internal immune response and just applying it directly to the surface of our face.
That is precisely the mechanism. And the reason it doesn't burn like, say, a 30% glycolic peel comes down to two major biological factors: its action and its pH level. The chemical nature of HOCl is heavily oxidizing.
Okay, so we hear the term oxidizing constantly in the beauty space, but usually is a bad thing, right? Like a thing we want to stop with antioxidants. What does oxidizing actually mean in plain English when it comes to fighting bacteria?
Right, it gets confusing. But in the simplest terms, an oxidizing agent is an electron thief. Hypochlorous acid aggressively seeks out the cellular walls of harmful microorganisms and it strips away their electrons.
Okay, and what happens then?
Well, when a single-celled bacteria loses those crucial electrons, its cellular wall loses structural integrity. It basically collapses and implodes on itself.
Okay, I have a very logical question here then. If it is dropping chemical bombs that make cells implode by stealing their electrons, why doesn't my face melt off when I spray it on? I mean, a human skin cell is still a cell, isn't it?
That is where human evolution is just brilliant. Human cells have evolved highly specific defensive enzymes, notably compounds like taurine that act as a biological shield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when hypochlorous acid encounters a human cell, our natural enzymes instantly neutralize the acid, rendering it completely harmless to our tissue. But single-cell bacteria and fungi, they don't have those evolutionary shields.
So it's like dropping a massive water balloon on a dense crowd, but all the human cells are holding sturdy umbrellas while the bacteria are just standing there completely exposed to the deluge.
I love that. That is a brilliant way to visualize the mechanism. It brings total destruction to the pathogens with zero collateral damage to you. And layered on top of that protective umbrella is the pH level.
Right.
The hypochlorous acid used in these skincare sprays has a pH level ranging from 4.5 to 6.5.
Which means it matches our skin.
Exactly. Your skin's natural barrier, the acid mantle, naturally sits slightly acidic, usually around a pH of 5.5. Because HOCl perfectly matches that natural barrier, your skin recognizes it as friendly territory.
So it doesn't freak out.
Right, it doesn't mount an inflammatory defense against it. You get potent electron-stealing action against the bad guys, but it registers to your nervous system as completely soothing.
Okay, if it's this microscopic targeted immune weapon, I want to pivot and talk about the physical applications. Because when I looked at the source material, I have to be completely honest with you, my snake oil alarm went off very loudly.
I'm not surprised. It claims to do a lot.
It really does. The guide claims this single molecule effectively treats teenage acne, chronic psoriasis, eczema, and severe wounds. And I am highly skeptical. You cannot fix a chronically oily, clogged acne breakout and a dry, flaky eczema patch with the exact same product.
Right.
They're complete biological opposites. How does this actually work?
Your skepticism is entirely warranted. I mean, in modern dermatology, we have been taught to chase and treat the visible symptom. We dry out the oil to stop acne, and we slather on heavy lipid moisturizers to fix eczema.
Exactly.
Well, what's fascinating here is when you look under a microscope and strip away those visible surface symptoms, the structural foundation of almost all these frustrating conditions is identical.
Wait, really? What's the common denominator?
Bacterial load and chronic inflammation.
But acne isn't an infection. It's just pores clogged with excess oil and dead skin, right?
Oil is the catalyst, yes. But bacteria is the actual culprit. The sources point out that HOCl specifically targets and kills Propionibacterium acnes. That's the exact strain of bacteria that feeds on that oil and triggers the angry red breakouts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Traditional treatments, like heavy benzoyl peroxide creams, they adopt a scorched earth policy. They kill the bacteria, sure, but they obliterate your skin's moisture barrier in the process, leaving you red and peeling.
Ugh, yes, the worst phase of acne treatment.
Exactly. HOCl steals the electrons from the acne bacteria, drastically reducing the bacterial load and the resulting inflammation, without stripping a single drop of natural moisture from your face.
So you get the clear complexion without going through that terrible phase where your skin is just burning and flaking off under your makeup.
Okay.
I can understand how killing bacteria stops a pimple, but let's look at the other side of my skepticism.
Okay, let's hear it.
With eczema and psoriasis, the skin isn't oily. It's chronically dry, broken, and shedding rapidly.
Let's look at the mechanics of eczema then. The core issue is that the skin's physical barrier is fundamentally compromised. It's full of microscopic tears and cracks. And what happens when a barrier is broken?
Opportunistic bacteria move in.
They absolutely do. They colonize those microscopic cracks, causing localized secondary infections that trigger massive itching, redness, and swelling.
And the body's immune system probably goes into overdrive trying to fight them off, which just creates a vicious cycle of more inflammation and more itching.
Exactly. Applying HOCl to eczema-affected skin doesn't moisturize it. It acts as a sterile shield. It massively reduces the bacterial growth on the compromised surface.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it stops those secondary infections in their tracks, which finally signals the immune system to calm down. It gives the skin barrier the safe, clean environment it desperately needs to actually undergo cellular repair.
Wow.
And it is the exact same mechanism for rosacea. It minimizes the redness and swelling by calming the irritation rather than just trying to mask it.
Ah, okay. So it's not acting as an oil stripper or heavy moisturizer. It is essentially stepping in to do the heavy lifting for your immune system, just creating a sterile, calm environment so your natural tissue can heal itself, which perfectly explains the wound care aspect of this guide, which honestly blew my mind.
Oh, the clinical data on wound care is incredibly compelling. The sources detail extensive studies on HOCl's efficacy in managing severe chronic wounds. We're talking about diabetic foot ulcers and pressure ulcers.
And those are notoriously difficult to heal. The blood flow in diabetic patients is compromised, meaning the body is already struggling to deliver its own white blood cells to the site.
Exactly. Which means bacterial infection is a constant, dangerous threat that can lead to severe tissue loss. In these clinical trials, they use this exact same hypochlorous acid molecule on those severe open wounds.
And it helped.
Immensely. The results showed a massive reduction in infection rates and greatly enhanced tissue regeneration.
Wait, if this is an acid that destroys bacterial cells, why doesn't it destroy the fragile, newly forming skin cells trying to close the ulcer?
Because of that taurine enzyme umbrella we talked about earlier,
Oh, right.
it accelerates recovery safely. because it strictly targets the pathogens without causing any collateral cell damage to the new, healthy human tissue.
Okay, if a surgical professional trusts this molecule to safely manage a diabetic ulcer, it suddenly makes complete logical sense why it is gentle enough to mist over a rosacea flare-up on your cheek. It really acts like a groundskeeper for your body's ecosystem.
That's a perfect way to put it.
It doesn't just clean the surface, it resets the entire biological environment.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is mimicking our immune system doesn't just live on our face. Does this mean this exact same spray works anywhere the body is fighting a bacterial invasion?
The guide highlights two specific areas beyond the face that might surprise you: the scalp and the eyelids.
Okay, I have to stop you at eyelids. Once again, spraying an acid directly into the human eye goes against every primal survival instinct I possess.
It sounds alarming until you understand the mechanics of a condition called blepharitis.
What is that?
It's a severe inflammation of the eyelids, frequently caused by bacterial overgrowth or severe dry eye conditions at the base of the eyelashes. The eyelids become red, swollen, intensely itchy, and crusty.
That sounds miserable. And you can't exactly scrub your delicate lash line with an aggressive salicylic acid cleanser without blinding yourself.
No, you really can't. But according to the studies, HOCl acts as an incredibly effective non-prescription eyelash and eyelid cleanser. Because it is naturally produced by our bodies and has that perfectly matched pH, you can apply it to the lash line to eliminate the harmful bacterial buildup.
Without it stinging.
Exactly. It significantly reduces the redness and swelling without stinging or damaging the highly delicate ocular surface. It brings immense, safe relief to an area that is notoriously hard to treat.
That is a massive quality of life upgrade. And what about the scalp?
Well, the scalp is just an extension of the skin on your face, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is dealing with a dense forest of hair follicles. Those follicles trap sweat, dead skin, and oils, creating the perfect breeding ground for bacterial and fungal overgrowth.
Which leads to severe dandruff and clogged pores. I know people who use those intense medicated dandruff shampoos, and they complain that it leaves their actual hair feeling like dry straw.
Because those commercial shampoos often rely on harsh detergents to strip the scalp.
Yeah.
By misting HOCl onto the roots instead, you target the specific bacteria and fungi causing the irritation without chemically degrading the hair shaft.
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah, you rapidly reduce the localized inflammation, unclog the follicles, and essentially reset the scalp's ecosystem to a healthy baseline. It creates the optimal, unimpeded environment required to support natural hair growth.
All right, the science is undeniably there. We have dermatology findings, ocular studies, and wound care clinics all backing this up. But here's where it gets really interesting, because you have to be really careful if you are actually going to incorporate this into your life.
Yeah.
Because if you walk into a beauty store or search online right now, there are dozens of brands pushing hypochlorous acid sprays. If the formula is fundamentally just water, a little salt, and this one HOCl molecule, how do you navigate this? Are people just paying $30 for expensive, salty tap water?
That is the biggest risk for consumers right now. People end up overpaying for ineffective formulas, or they buy a heavily marketed spray that actually irritates their skin because they didn't check the specifications. There's a very specific blueprint you need to look for on the label.
Okay, let's lay that blueprint out for you. What is the very first thing to check on the back of the bottle?
Concentration. The label absolutely must explicitly state the parts per million, or ppm, of the hypochlorous acid. The clinically effective sweet spot for human skin is between 100 to 200 parts per million.
Okay.
That translates to roughly 0.01% to 0.02% concentration.
Let's apply some logic here. I'm guessing if you buy a spray that is under 100 ppm, that electron stealing mechanism we talked about just isn't potent enough to actually burst the bacteria?
Exactly. Below 100 ppm, you aren't getting the antimicrobial benefits. You are literally just giving your face a wet salt bath.
Useless.
Right. But it is equally dangerous to go too high. If the concentration is significantly higher than 200 ppm, it crosses the line from a gentle biological skin soother into a harsh industrial-grade disinfectant.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, a concentration that high can overwhelm your skin's natural enzyme defenses and trigger severe redness or chemical irritation.
So 100 to 200 ppm is the non-negotiable target. Now, what about the rest of the ingredient list? In the skincare world, we love a product that crams 20 different botanical extracts, essential oils, and vitamins into one bottle. Is that what we want to see here?
This raises a critical point about how the specific molecule behaves chemically. With hypochlorous acid, minimal is an absolute requirement. You want to see water, salt, and hypochlorous acid on the label. Nothing else. Remember, HOCl is a highly active aggressive oxidizer.
Oh, wait. If a brand fills a bottle with a dozen organic plant extracts and fragrances, the HOCl is going to attack those organic compounds right inside the bottle, isn't it?
You've got it. It will oxidize those additives and render itself completely inactive before you even press the spray nozzle.
So if a brand sells I don't know, a lavender-infused hypochlorous spray, they've essentially broken their own product just to make it smell nice?
Very likely. Now, some brands like Purito take a slightly more plant-forward approach and might add soothing agents like aloe or hydrating boosters like hyaluronic acid.
Is that bad?
Well, while that isn't inherently dangerous if your primary goal is just light hydration, if you have highly reactive skin or you are actively trying to treat a severe eczema or rosacea flare-up, simple purity is always the safer bet. The more complex the ingredient list, the higher the mathematical chance of triggering an allergic reaction.
Let's look at how the specific brands outlined in our source materials stack up against these rules. Who is doing it right?
The current viral giant dominating the market is the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. It sits perfectly in that 0.01% to 0.02% range, utilizes the simple water, salt, and HOCl formula, and currently boasts around 8,400 reviews with a strong 4.4 rating. It is a very solid, reliable benchmark.
But they aren't the only player in the game.
Not at all. There's a brand called Magic Molecule that is highly specific. They formulate exactly at 0.018% HOCl. They maintain a stellar 4.8 rating across 4,000 reviews.
Oh, wow, that's high.
Yeah. And if you are a fan of K-beauty formulations, Medicube offers a daily facial spray that also hits that impressive 4.8 rating.
And the market is totally global now, too. Our source highlights Happy Skin, which is a Filipino beauty brand. They offer a medical-grade HOCl spray for the face and body priced around 1,139 Philippine pesos, which converts to roughly 17 euros or 19 US dollars.
That's a great price point.
It is. But before we move on to the actual physical application, I have a logistical deduction. If this molecule is so highly active and volatile that it fights with lavender oil in the bottle, how does it survive sitting on a warm, sunny bathroom shelf for 6 months? Wouldn't ultraviolet light shining through a clear plastic bottle just destroy the acid?
You've identified one of the biggest manufacturing hurdles. Packaging matters immensely because HOCl is inherently unstable over time. It must be housed in a tightly sealed spray bottle with a fine mist applicator.
Okay, so no droppers.
No, you cannot buy formulas with open pore tops or droppers because the active gas will simply escape into the air.
So no decanting it into a cute little travel bottle either.
Absolutely, do not decant it.
Yeah.
And while some highly stabilized formulas can survive in clear plastics, opaque or tinted packaging is generally superior for preventing UV degradation.
Makes sense.
A properly formulated, correctly packaged bottle should have a shelf life of 12 to 24 months. You just need to store it at room temperature, away from direct, harsh sunlight.
Okay, so you've done your homework, you checked the ppm, you avoided the botanical traps, and you bought the perfect, simple, sealed bottle. Now you are standing in your bathroom in the morning. Most of us already have a routine involving cleansers, expensive serums, and heavy moisturizers.
Right.
How do you physically weave this new spray into a routine without ruining the effectiveness of your other products? Give us the tactical, step-by-step playbook.
There's a strict 6-step application protocol, and there is one very common mistake people make that completely nullifies the benefits.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Okay, step 1. You must cleanse your skin first. Use your mild cleanser to remove ambient dirt, heavy oils, and makeup. If you spray HOCl onto a face covered in thick foundation or physical debris, the molecule will react with the makeup and exhaust its oxidizing power before it ever actually reaches the bacteria on your skin.
Clear the battlefield first. That makes total sense.
Step 2. Shake the bottle gently, just to ensure the formulation is evenly distributed. Step 3, hold the bottle about 6 to 8 inches away from your face, or the affected area on your body. This ensures a broad, even mist and prevents oversaturating one specific patch of skin.
Step 4 is the easy part. Just mist it lightly all over. Focus on the problem areas, right? The active breakouts, the red patches, the eczema flares.
Exactly. And here is step 5, which is the most crucial step of the entire protocol.
Yeah.
This is where most people fail.
Okay, what is it?
You must let the spray air dry naturally for 2 to 3 minutes. Do not rub it in with your hands. Do not aggressively pat it down with a towel.
Wait, why is that so critical? In the beauty world, we are constantly told to pat in our toners and essences to help them absorb faster.
You have to resist that urge for two scientific reasons. First, human hands are covered in ambient bacteria, even if you just wash them.
Oh, true.
If you immediately rub the spray into your face, you are manually introducing a fresh wave of bacteria into the sterile microenvironment you just tried to create.
Defeating the entire purpose of the spray.
Precisely. Second, the chemistry takes time. The HOCl physically needs that 2 to 3 minute window to complete its oxidative burst, to find the pathogens, steal their electrons, and neutralize them.
Wow, okay.
If you immediately wipe it away with a towel or instantly cover it up by rubbing a heavy lipid cream over it, you interrupt the chemical reaction before it finishes its job. Just step back and let it dry.
Patience is literally part of the chemical formula. And once the 3 minutes are up and your face is dry, what's the final step?
Step 6, apply your favorite moisturizer or serum. The HOCl has done its heavy antimicrobial lifting, the water has evaporated, and all that remains is a microscopic trace of harmless salt.
Nice.
Now you want to lock in hydration to support the skin's barrier as it repairs itself. Doing this twice daily, once in the morning and once before bed, is the gold standard for promoting long-term, visible improvement in your skin's health.
It is truly remarkable when you step back and look at the entire narrative arc of this molecule. We started this deep dive talking about the primal fear of pouring acid onto an open wound or into an eye, assuming it would cause mass destruction. And instead, we've unpacked this incredibly elegant, sophisticated biological superpower.
It represents a complete paradigm shift in how we approach cellular health and topical treatments.
It really does. We are talking about a single affordable bottle containing a naturally occurring molecule that gently clears up acne, soothes the aggressive itch of eczema, relieves dry eyes, supports a healthy scalp, and can literally help a diabetic wound close up safely.
All in one step.
All while being gentle enough to mist over your face twice a day. For you listening, this matters because it is one of those incredibly rare, science-backed shortcuts in life. It cuts down the overwhelming, expensive clutter in your bathroom cabinet. It replaces 10 different harsh, stripping chemical products with one incredibly effective tool that actually works in harmony with your biology instead of fighting against it.
You know, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights the profound wisdom that is already hardwired into human biology. Through modern science, we've successfully isolated the exact defense mechanism our own white blood cells intuitively deploy in a moment of crisis to fight off infections.
Yeah.
We've managed to stabilize that complex biological response, bottle it, and place it right on our bathroom counters.
We are essentially outsourcing our own immunity to a spray bottle to give our skin a head start.
We are. And it leaves you with a fascinating, somewhat profound thought to ponder as you go about your day.
I'd love to hear it.
If science was able to isolate and harness this one incredibly effective natural defense mechanism from our white blood cells, what other brilliant natural biological defenses is the human body currently hiding that might just become the next massive frontier in everyday health and medicine?
Oh, I love that. Little biological mystery to keep you thinking. And hopefully this deep dive has fundamentally changed what comes to mind when you hear the word acid in your skincare routine. It doesn't always have to be a horror story of peeling skin and burning redness.
Not at all.
Sometimes it's just your own immune system providing exactly what your body needs to heal. We want to warmly thank you for coming along on this deep dive with us today. Check your labels, let your face air dry, and, as always, stay insanely curious.